Hey there, welcome back to another video. I am Ramona. This is the Smell of Logic channel. We are reading stuff today. This one might be a little more pessimistic. Maybe not. We'll find out. The topic is, what have you given up on? And some of these may be a little, funny. Some may not. We'll find out as we read on. Ready? They're short answers, so we're going to get through as many as we can. First one, communism. Being angry with stupid people. Pity and sarcasm are much more healthy. Trying to slam dunk a basketball. Being smaller than a size 6. Government. Women. My adult coloring in books. I'll go back to them once footy season has ended. Trying to make a difference at my job. At the moment, I'm giving up on gaining abs. I'll try again in spring for that sexy summer body. Having kids. I'm 36 and it just isn't happening. Socializing. Faith in mankind. Discussing gun control on Reddit is like talking to a wall. That security blanket is held so tightly that people will never let go no matter how many lives it costs. Accidents will, of course, never happen to responsible people with training, and guns make any a dangerous situation vanish into thin air. Last but not least, you need them to fight the government or them, should things get out of control. Like, that's how things work anymore. I think that's probably how things don't work anymore. The government is some foreign entity, and you even could if you wanted to. Okay. Keep in mind, this was a few years ago. Probably that person's opinion may have changed now. Getting together with my crush. Took a lot of time and emotions, but I finally realized it's not going anywhere and that I should move on. It's actually kind of freeing. I don't have to worry about impressing her or any of the drama anymore. Trying to change others you like back. Arrow. Pretty okay show at first, but holy shit, the writers went full Tumblr. My son says the same thing. He used to love that show, and he's like, nope, can't do it. Trying to sleep with people under 25. Other people's common sense. You can't reason someone out of a belief they do not reason themselves into. It's actually pretty thought-provoking. I like that. Arguing with Americans about how soccer is really not boring. Trying to be reasonable with the mother of my child. Once you've had a relationship that close with someone and it falls away, it is very hard to maintain a functional relationship with that person outside of a romantic one. Finding a best friend. I am a woman who's had many friends, but never the lifelong close friendship thing. I do have a twin sister, though, so I guess that's a great silver medal. But I wish I'd had a close female friend. I work in a male-dominated industry, so it's very tough for me to meet other women. To give you an idea of the numbers, my team is about 60 people. Only 3 are women. I've given up on hopes of becoming Batman. I don't have the chin, the murdered parents, the martial arts training, the money, the status, or the gadgets. But mainly the chin. I gave up on a lot of things these past 2 years. My best friend who started doing drugs and gave up everything he had. I supported him all the time, and he just went out and did that. I also gave up on relationships. There's so much work, and you might feel so passionate about someone while they might just not care at all. Yeah, it's been quite devastating for me to say that I quit. I gave up on my best friend. He's always been up and down with his life, and I've been there for him time and time again. But this last time, he lost it on me, telling me to F off at first, and then I'd just been a fake friend this entire time. I tried for a month after this to see what was going on with him. Turns out he hasn't been getting any of my texts, and whenever we talk on the phone, there was nothing there. Last time I saw him, I made it clear that I hadn't been ignoring him. He said he'd believe me, that it's best that I forget about him, and there's no point in knowing anything about him. I haven't tried to contact him since, because I feel like what's the point? It breaks my heart, but I have nothing else to offer in this situation. Worst part is that it literally came out of nowhere. One day, he just decided to tell me to F off. taking as much bullshit as I used to. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a super chill guy that doesn't really take offense to anything. But now I just deal less with assholes, and I'm not ready to help them as much as I used to be. It's actually probably pretty healthy. I've given up looking for happiness. I gave it my address, and if it wants to send me some, then that's quite all right. Being married. 2 gold diggers in a row, and now I'm done. It isn't worth the risk. Just find someone you are happy with. Nothing. I'm always fairly optimistic. Just kidding. Send help. Having any sense of companionship, romantic or otherwise, throughout the rest of my PhD. Men. Not really 100%, but just in a kind of, I'm not actively looking for anyone because my experiences doing that have been heartbreaking, and I don't want to be missing opportunities due to a lack of meeting someone suitable along the way. I want kids, and I've decided not to wait. Playing music is more than a hobby, trying to make a difference at work, meeting new people, etc. I've given up contacting local officials to request replacements for 6 out of the 8 dead streetlights on our neighborhood. They just ignore it, even though vandalism and crime is up in the city. Nintendo. Getting into arguments with people in real life and on the internet. You can't change the view of some people no matter what, and most of the times they really don't need to change their view. You really don't need to change their view anyway. Hoping my family doesn't fall apart. Parents are getting sicker and sicker every year, and my brother is someone who just finds everything and anything else to blame because he's gotten some shitty breaks. Home doesn't really feel like home anymore. Trying to beat Super Meat Boy. You win, I give up. I tried my goddamn hardest. Expecting my housemates to clean. We are all hitting it off pretty well, but it seems like I do too much of the cleaning. I don't think I ever once came home and had a clean mug to drink from. When I do all the cleaning and dishes, they praise me, and I forget that I am angry. That's why I don't miss having roommates. God, that was the worst part. Bernie Sanders. My love life. LeBron James. The dude is just out of excuses. Losing weight. Going out to the movies. I've reached the Sturgeon's Law phase of life where the art has lost its wonder and 90% of everything is truly crap. Tickets are too expensive to make that kind of a gamble. Trying to make my family care about each other. Sex. Been without for 5 years now. Ever getting a legit Mew. I always miss the Mew events. I've given up hopes my husband, a painting contractor, will ever finish painting the kitchen, living room, and bathrooms. Not to mention waiting for over 12 years for him to refinish the kitchen cabinets like he keeps promising. Maybe be time to look for hiring for someone else. Believing that you have to tolerate your family. It took a while, but I finally realized that it was better for my sanity if I just cut out the side of the family that was toxic. The energy I save by not getting into arguments over their inexcusable behavior is immense. I've given up explaining to my parents why a computer needs a graphic card to play games at decent FPS. I've given up on my life. Not going back to my old job that I hated. I start there again on Tuesday. Yeah, I was there a few years ago. Swore I was never going to go back to that job, but that was the only place I was hiring, so I'm still there. Yeah. Cheers, brother. Seeking happiness. I've just surrendered to the gnawing emptiness inside me. Have a nice day. Humanity. That letter from Hogwarts. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. Not entirely yet, but cynicism. It's only a compelling tool for comedians, not everyday life. All it gets you is a deep-seated resentment towards people you should be working with, and occasionally a few moments of smug superiority. The latter has diminishing returns, and then you're just left with being a bitter shell of a person. Can't argue with it, but I want to. Trying to get back in contact with old friends. A lot of the time, the friendship ended for a good reason. There's no point trying to go back to how things were because you're going to get the bad back as well as the good. I've given up on trying to be someone that everyone likes. Dating girls that I sleep with. If you want to date a girl, don't sleep with her. Instead, sleep with other girls. My master's thesis. Finishing all the courses, but no time for the thesis. I've been working already throughout my study, and I'm doing really well at my job. Computer coding. I'm a gainfully employed welder that was learning Python for fun, but it's harder than I thought. I even enlisted the help of my girlfriend, who has coded since she was 12, and is now a highly paid coder here in Silicon Valley. I've given up that cute brunette that seems to like my co-workers more. Trying to like my hair. I settled for just trying to make it look okay as possible. Yeah, I feel that one. Making my parents see that they're enabling my alcoholic older brother. I've given up on trying to stay competitive in video games. I have a 9 to 10-year-old sub that I recently disabled on World of Warcraft. It's been like 2 years since I played. That I've learned that you start meeting people who only have fun by winning and being the best part, yet is at not the pro level, aka not attending public tournaments. At the end of the day, it starts to become a job, and honestly, if you're getting nothing out of it, other than recognition, I play games to unwind after a hard day's work. The Internet. It's all mainstream ideas and corporate propaganda of our ever-growing proportion. There is little actual engagement and original thinking anymore. I gave up on trying to please my parents. All my life, no matter what I do, they just bitch and complain about everything. They're very ungrateful, and no matter what I do, I can buy them thoughtful gifts, and they will manage to find a way to complain. A few years ago, when I graduated high school and been an honor roll for 4 years of high school, I didn't get any praise or love from my parents, just more complaining. Most of my life, I wanted to make my parents proud of me by doing the right thing and taking my education seriously. They seem to care more about themselves. Given up on believing my dad will get better. Currently in the hospital once again due to his lung collapsing again. Given up on thinking he hasn't got early Alzheimer's. It's harsh, but true. Scrolling all the way down on my Facebook newsfeed. Way too much clutter to sift through. It's barely about friends' lives anymore. It's a video, meme, and propaganda sharing site. I have given up on the idea that any of my comments will be gilded. League. It used to be so much fun, but now every match is the same and my favorite champion is now broken. I have given up on being skinny. Though I am thin to average size, I will never be healthier. I will never healthier be skinny. I have been struggling with eating disorders long enough to know that who I wish I was will never be who I am. Not without killing myself, at least. Romance. I don't want it or need it in my life. Also, friends. People don't like me. Finding a job with my degree. Well, maybe not 100% given up, but pretty damn close. I regret getting my degree so much. I've given up on my dreams. Explain to people that a belief in God is a belief in magic. Crab chips. The idea of marriage and children. It's antiquated. Ever finding someone to share my life with, having a good job, or a nice house. Applying for jobs at local businesses. They only hire their friends. I guess I can't blame them. If I was a small business owner, I'd probably do the same thing, but I've given up. I applied at an engraving shop, and the look of the guy giving me there told me that when I told him I wanted to submit a resume with a combination of surprise and disinterest, I didn't know it was possible to combine those emotions, but he pulled it off. I've given up on getting rich. My non-compliant, drug-addicted, diabetic stepdad. Being a writer. 10 years, 3 terrible novels, nearly 40 failed short stories. It was time to stop throwing away all of those hours writing things no one has even remotely been interested in reading, and do something else. I made a lot of poor life decisions based around making time to write. Now that I'm in my 30s, it's time to do damage control. I can feel that one. I've given up on the UK. Given up on the winds of winter coming out before I die. I'm only 21, but it coming out in the next 60 years or so seems optimistic. I'm no longer looking for the perfect field in my job in my field. I'm much happier getting a job, learning everything I can from it, than moving on. I've only been following this pattern for 2 years out of the 10 that I've been working, but my skills have already improved by an enormous amount. Every time I settle in somewhere new, I can find some way to make myself integral to the team in a couple of weeks. I've seen so many different teams and working that I can pick out their ability and knowledge gap very quickly and find a way to plug them quickly and effectively. I may never reach upper management, but I am actually excited about my future for once, instead of waiting to see if it gets better on its own. Trying to meet people and make friends. It just doesn't feel right that I have to put forward all the effort to meet people. Trying to change how I am for other people. I'm fine the way I am. I've given up on finding true happiness. Trying to get to front page. Life. Pan Am being the space line to low Earth orbit and the moon. Reacting when someone uses emotional blackmail on me. It's a two-person dance, and I can choose to sit this one out. Government efficiency. Trying to go out and have fun. Bars are loud and so expensive. House parties are where it's really at. This thread has made me depressed. Yeah. I've given up on women. I'm gay now. I think the majority of people are fools. Uneducated, misinformed, stubborn fools that don't know how to think critically. And given the state of politics in my country at the moment, this truth has been made very clear. Trying to have a social life or a relationship. Social anxiety has destroyed me over the years, and every time I try to overcome it or do something outside of my comfort zone, I just get wrecked emotionally. I recently started talking to an amazing girl about 6 months ago, and she asked me to go down and see her. I live a couple hours away. I instinctively said no and made up some excuse, but then I thought I'd have to stop doing this. So I booked a hotel, drove down for the weekend, and spent the time up until meeting her and her friend, worrying like hell. I mean, every possible worst-case scenario played out in my head to the point of wanting to be physically sick in the motel room before heading out that evening. I finally meet her. She's awesome. I felt that we got on great. Even her friend liked me. The following day, I set off home early as I needed to be back for work. I sent her a text basically saying thank you for wanting to meet up, had a good time, blah blah, and the whole 2-hour drive home I sobbed. I felt awful, all because I still felt like I effed up and that was not going to be allowed to be happy. That was last weekend, and now I'm just back to my usual miserable self. Anxiety is a bitch, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I have given up on losing my virginity. Getting PMs. Losing the weight. Trying to get abs, I pretty much gave up as soon as I started. I have given up on leaving Reddit. Giving a shit about the ignorance of others. Blaming others, society, for my genetics, or my genetics for things. Any success in music. People just don't want what I have to offer. You have to be more special than I am. Trying to make my dad proud of me. Growing up, I always wondered why my best was never good enough for him. Now that I'm in my 20s, in my first year of college, and about to live with him from August, I just don't care anymore. I'm right on the verge of giving up fighting depression. It's so damn tiring, and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. I just wish something or someone would come along and off me. Hope you're getting help there, dude. Dating. So tired of it. I don't have my shit together enough in the first place. Don't know that I ever will. All the anti-human pessimists. They look on TV, see a shred of bad news and humans doing dumb things, and decide the whole race is doomed because half a percentage of us are dumb or immoral. And no amount of explanation can get them to realize we're freaking awesome. My family. Other than my dad and my cat's boyfriends. My cat's boyfriend. Okay. My entire family, primarily due to my mother, has decided that I'm the black sheep. She got mad because I wouldn't be her friend on Facebook and have since refused to speak to me for months now. Months over Facebook. I got the rest of the family to follow suit. It's shitty, and the only reason is just because I wanted privacy. The relationship has been strained for a while. I just can't believe that Facebook is what broke the camel's back. I'm trying to just concentrate on finishing uni this December and moving to Oregon to be with my boyfriend. I used to put a ton of effort into trying to be friends with my mother. It's just not worth it anymore. Ever getting the children's section of this library into perfect alphabetical order. At this point, I'm just looking for the first 3 letters and shoving books there. And last but not least, let's end it with this. I have given up on being normal. I tried it. It just isn't for me. So there you go. There's some things people have given up on. Some are humorous, some definitely not humorous, but if you enjoyed this video, or if you have something you've given up on, or maybe you thought you did and you've changed your mind, leave a comment down below this video. If you like this video, leave a like. Maybe subscribe or share it. That's cool too. Go check out lots of other videos on here. There's plenty to watch, to listen to. Mindless. Well, maybe not so mindless, but hopefully some of it's thought-provoking. But thanks again for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.